And welcome back to the marketplace. Let's do the story about the SIM card re-registration and concerns that it may not achieve its intended purpose of ridding the country's telecom space of fraudsters. We are joined via Zoom by Country Director of CATS International, Kusi Adumako, with his perspective on this. Great to have you on our program this afternoon. And so we are not going to be talking about whether or not the government should go ahead with it because it's already underway. But I just want to ask you if you also buy into concerns that, well, this may not achieve its intended purpose of ridding the telecom space of fraudsters.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the decision by government to start the re-registration of the SIM cards is something in the right direction, because we've seen how lots of crimes have been committed, and through the use of mobile phone SIM registration, the police have been able to narrow in on some of these. Though there are some gaps and inefficiencies in the existing one. Let me also be frank to admit that the SIM registration will still not be able to eliminate crime. But for me, I think one thing that we may be asking government is, government has multiple reasons for going about this SIM registration. Already, we know that the mobile money market, more funds are transferred through the mobile money network than even the traditional brick and mortar bank. And so when government is able to have access to mobile data, it can help government to also identify whether Ghanaians are actually paying their right source of what is due them in terms of their taxes. Yeah.
Okay. And so we're also looking at a deadline of March 2022. Is that also feasible?
Sorry, just a second. The deadline is not feasible. I think it would be helpful if government can give, let's say, 12 months period to allow people to be able to register. Some Ghanaians might have traveled abroad and they may not be in the country before March 31st next year. So if you expand it to, let's say, even 31st December 2020, I think that would be very helpful and can allow, most Ghanaians to be able to register.
All right. On the subject of Customer Week, I want to just throw in that because you are in the Customer Week and you deal with consumer concerns. I want you to rate how far we have done or how far we have gone in ensuring that, customers are attended to and that they are satisfied with whatever services they are seeking from for organizations during this time that we try to highlight the importance of customer service.
Okay, thank you very much. I think today permit me to spare the private sector private sector firms, and let's come to the public sector service delivery. Public sector service delivery is very, very poor in Ghana. When you go to the ministries or agency to do something, it is as if you are going to beg them. You write a letter, you send a letter to an agency, you will never get a response. You follow up, you cannot even trace your letter or your file. And I think that is very, very bad. With all the resources that the state has, I think that the government machinery should be able to do better than what it's doing. And surprisingly, when you go to Ghana missions abroad, the same behavior that the public sector acts behave is what you find at the Ghana missions abroad. Just pretend that you are calling the Ghana mission, any Ghana mission, and leave a voicemail, whether anybody would return your call. It is very, very on the side of government. And always we know that about 2/3 of the internally generated taxes here are used to pay public sector workers. And the service that they deliver, they deliver service all right, but their relationship with customers, their relationship with consumers, in terms of responding to emails, correspondence, and other phone calls, is very, very bad. And I think this year, I think that we should rather focus on the public sector delivery. Of course, the private sector, there's a lot of competition in the private sector. So you see the private sector, you see one firm doing better than the other because that firm is afraid that if it doesn't step up well, the competition might, service quality or how they even interface with their customers might cause them to lose a business. So we see that. But because when it comes to the government or the state institutions, they have what we call the natural monopoly of things that they do. And so you don't have any alternative to government service delivery. And so whether you like it or not, you still have to wait at the mercies of the state agencies to get back to you.
Okay, I find it a bit difficult to attain this. Like you say, the private sector is because there's a lot of competition in there, but the public sector, we have the feeling that nobody really cares. So where do we start from in ensuring that, the customer is taken seriously?
I think we say charity begins from home. For the private sector, it is competition. The market forces will compel businesses to do what is right. For example, for many years, we didn't have a call center for water and electricity. But for the last 10 years, we've seen water and electricity companies having a 24-hour call centers. For many years, we didn't have certain things, but now you see that the market competition in the market field is kind of what resulting in some of these things. But for the state agencies, I think that this must be a policy initiative by government to ensure that anybody who sends a letter to the government agency, whether it's an email or whatever, you get response within a comfortable time. It's very bad that even when you send a document and you are in Tema, you have to still drive over to Accra and follow up, and they will tell you that, please, we've not received the email. Do you have a copy of your letter here? The next time you go, they say we can't even find your file. It's not fair to the taxpayers. And I think that this year, government should prioritize service delivery in the public sector. Some institutions are doing well. I don't want to box all of them. Some agencies are doing very well, but largely, majority of them are not doing well. And I think that charity, we say, begins from home, and government should be the one to start the house cleaning exercise.
And I agree on the point that some public institutions are doing very well. Thanks so much for your time this afternoon. That was Country Director of CAS International, Kusia Piadumako, speaking to us on the SIM card re-registration as well as Customer Service Week, which is being marked all around the country this week.